welcome to all of you, everyone who has joined us. My name is Doreen Bishoda, and I'll be moderating this session. As mentioned earlier, this is the new members webinar, which we have organized for new members who have joined an institution that has their scheme registered with enterprise trustees. This is just to keep you up to date on what happens when you join us and how your fund will grow. So without much ado, I want to go to Ransford, who is the head of new business advisory, and to take over and then set the tone for this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doreen. And I'd like to welcome everybody once again to this morning's new members webinar. We're happy to have you here. As Doreen said, as enterprise trustees, we organize these webinars as frequently as possible for our new joiners to any of our numerous schemes that we currently administer. So we try and make it as informative as possible, and also trying to help you, with as much knowledge as we can. So you are well resourced, around your pensions and administration around your pensions with us enterprise trustees. So I'd like to go straight into it. This is going to be our outline. We are going to talk a little bit about us, just to know the company that you are in business with. It's good to know who, what the company is about, and so on and so forth. So then we'll move on to understanding the National Pensions Act and how it affects you as an individual member. And then we'll look at our services, a few fact checks, and then what you need to do before you go into retirement. So a little bit about us as Enterprise. We are part of the Enterprise Group. We're a subsidiary of the Enterprise Group, which is a publicly listed company on the Ghana Stock Exchange, and it's predominantly institutionally owned. Our group currently has 6 subsidiaries, namely Enterprise Insurance, Enterprise Life, Enterprise Trustees, Acacia, and Enterprise Funeral Services, as well as Enterprise Properties. Currently, we are the market leader in most of our businesses, in most of our markets that we operate. We lead in those markets as well. And we currently have assets under management of 1.5 billion currently. Besides Ghana, the group has operations in Gambia and Nigeria as well. So Enterprise as a whole started originally as an agent office for the British company Royal Exchange Assurance in 1924. So this is our 100th year. So this year we're celebrating our centenary. So we are all very excited. We are happy to have you join us in these celebrations. In 1952, we were registered to provide general and life insurance. And then in 1977, the company's name changed to Enterprise Insurance. In 1990, Enterprise Insurance became one of the first companies to be listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange. And then in 2000, the year 2000, Enterprise Life was born out of the partnership between Enterprise Insurance and Africa Life of South Africa. Then in 2010, Enterprise Group was created as a holding company with subsidiaries in life insurance and pensions. 2012, our partnership with Sanlam extended to insurance to include Enterprise Insurance as well. Now, Enterprise Group was replaced Sanlam, with Prudential Incorporated USA in 2017 as our new strategic partners. And then in 2021, the newest member of the Enterprise family was added, that's Acacia, bringing our total subsidiaries to 6. Our vision really is to deepen and strengthen our market penetration and to increase market share for all the lines of businesses that we operate, up to 30%. And our mission is to provide all who come in contact with us their desired advantage, because we are the best at what we do. We at Enterprise Trustees are currently the market leader in our space with 23.2 market share. We fall within the industry group Peer 1, as categorized by the National Pensions Regulatory Authority, which is our regulator. Our current assets under management are in excess of 7 billion across all our master trusts and our employer-sponsored schemes that we run. For our membership, we are in excess of 700,000 individual members and 5,000 employers currently on our books. We are known for as the pension subsidiary of the Enterprise Group and championing customer-led solutions, leading innovation, and for our numerous awards that we have won over the years. So at this point, I will invite Nana Asante to take us through the National Pensions Act. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ransford, for that's important information, and good morning once again to members on the call. I must add my voice to my earlier colleagues and express our gratitude for joining us today. If you're facing any technical issue with regards to the presenter's video, kindly permit us. We are working to resolve that for you. And just to put in, before I move into business, I think the information Ransford gave us, it's very important that as you join us, you are now part of the family. And I'm sure you hear some myth and rumors around enterprise being associated with other people and all that. But the emphasis is also to let you know that this is a listed group, and so there is no cause for alarm. Understanding the National Pensions Act. So I'll make this presentation very short so that we can have more interaction. I'm sure you might have one or two questions, so I'll make this presentation very short. And before we move on to understanding the core Pensions Act as we have it in our space, you know that we need to establish what retirement is. This whole thing is about retirement. And so we want to define retirement for us to set the tone and for us to be aligned in the discussion that we have in this morning. So basically, as we are celebrating birthdays this year, receiving wishes from friends and family, we are a year close to retirement. So basically, when you get to that stage, it's a time in your life when you move, your main source of income will move from the monthly or the regular earned income to private investment, social security, and another investment that you may have. And this will happen when you fall in the bracket of either a forced or voluntary retirement. And in Ghana, the retirement age is 60. So when you're 60 years, you are mandatorily supposed to go on retirement. When you are 55 to 59, you can go on voluntary retirement, as well as other factors that I'll speak to in the course of the presentation. Now, the 3-tier pension scheme. So before we had a 3-tier pension scheme, pensions in Ghana was synonymous to SNIT. So all we knew about pensions was SNIT because it was only organization that managed pensions in Ghana due to agitations from the public on what they take home at the end of their working life. The then President Kufuor's era set up a committee to review the whole structure. And today we have the 3-tier pension structure. So we have the tier 1, the tier 2, and the tier 3. So I'll take my time to go through the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, what it entails, and we will zoom into other business. So the tier 1 is 13.5% of our basic salary at the end of every month. So what I mean by that is at the end of every month, your employer pays 13.5% to SNIT towards your pensions at tier 1. I'll come to how we get all these percentages. And tier 2 will give you, it's 5% of your basic salary on a monthly basis. Tier 3, you have up to 16.5%, which you are able to contribute towards your pensions. Now, as the law indicates, at the end of every month, once you are in a formal employment, your employer is supposed to pay 13% on your basic salary towards your pensions at the end of every month. So this 13% is calculated on your basic salary, and it's from the employer's coffers. In other words, from the employer's funds and not from your salary. So 13% from the employer's fund is contributed towards your pensions at the end of every month. Now, 5.5% is taken from our salaries. So for those of us who usually check our pay slips, you see the narration SSF, the Social Security Fund there, that is 5.5%. That is taken from your salary towards your pensions. And because the tier 1, tier 2 are mandatory or compulsory, that for every worker, contributions towards tier 1, tier 2 is supposed to be made for you. It means that those ones are being deducted religiously. Now, the 5.5% that is deducted, the 0.5 is added to the 13% the employer is paying for you, and it goes to SNIT at the end of every month towards tier 1. The remaining 5% will come to enterprise trustees as your tier 2. With the 13.5 that goes to SNIT, 11% will stay with SNIT and 2.5% goes to NHIL. And this is based on the Pensions Act. All these things are in the Act. And so there are provisions that have been made for us. As I indicated earlier, tier 1, tier 2 are mandatory. So you cannot have any way around it. And these percentages are also fixed. And so you cannot say you are paying more or you are paying less. There are extreme cases where your tier 2 might increase. That is when you receive a salary over 40, I think now it is 42,000 cedis. If your salary is over 42,000 cedis, what happens is that after the 5% is calculated on the 42,000, the excess amount, they'll calculate the full amount of the 18.5. That is the 13.5 plus the 5%, 18.5, and it will be paid. It can be paid into the tier 2 or a tier 3 for you. So those are extreme cases. But for majority of us, that is what it is. So 13% employer will pay for you, 5.5% taken from your salary, together making 18.5. Out of that 18.5, 13.5 goes to SNIT towards your tier 1, and 5% comes to enterprise trustees as your tier 2. Now, the tier 3 is not compulsory, it is voluntary. We call it the Provident Fund. We have the voluntary Provident Fund under the tier 3. We also have the personal pensions under the tier 3. Now, because this is not compulsory, it is voluntary, you can decide to take advantage of it. You can decide to opt out. In some organizations, when you join, the employer is making a percentage towards that for you. And so you're also obliged to make a certain percentage. So that is done. So it means that with the tier 3, there are about 3 ways you can do it. Either the employer alone, the employer plus the employee doing it, the employee alone doing it. Okay, so we have the personal pensions aspect that you can take advantage of. All these contributions per the law is supposed to sum up to 35%. And these deductions are made before income taxes or the relevant taxes are applied to your salary. So we say that they are tax exempt. Okay, so all these contributions are made to the various bodies before tax is applied to whatever is left of your basic salary, and then is paid to you at the end of every month. So that is the tier 1, the tier 2, and the tier 3 as we have it. Apart from SNIT managing tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, employer and employees decide where it goes to. Majority of the decision lies with the employer to decide that it comes to enterprise trustees. And thankfully, you are with us, so you're in good hands. Those who are not with us, unfortunately, they are missing out a lot. So that is what we have for you in terms of the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. I'll move on to the benefits of this 3-tier pension scheme. And as I indicated earlier, we need to take advantage of the tax exempt that it presents, because you can save up to 35% of your salary, which will not be taxed. Okay, it means that when you take advantage of the 3-tier, you are maxing out on the tier 3, that is 16.5. You are doing the tier 2, that is 5%, the tier 1, 13.5%. At the end of the day, you've saved about 35%, which will not be taxed. You have the opportunity to also build your retirement savings that you can use to support the purchase of your primary home. I'll get into details of the primary home and the loans and all the sweetness around this. And you also take advantage of the magic of compounding interest. The good thing about our scheme and the investment we do is that it is compounded on a daily basis. So today, if you pay 100 cedis as your contribution and we go into the market, invest it, and it gives us a return of, let's say, 2 cedis. Tomorrow, when you are going into the market, you are not going with the 100 cedis you contributed, you are going with 102 cedis. So which means that your funds will be compounding and you get to enjoy at the end of the day. Who manages your funds? So with the introduction of the 3-tier structure, the law also put in place some regulatory and some structure to ensure that our funds are very safe. Safety comes first when it comes to pensions. And so we have the regulator sitting on top, the National Pensions regulatory authority. They are the SU Tower in Reach. So if you want to find them, you can go there and interact with them. So they are the regulatory body for all pensions schemes and corporate entities in Ghana. And now we have the enterprise trustees, your preferred corporate trustees seated just beneath the regulator. And within enterprise trustees, we have the board of trustees. The board of trustees are not just management of enterprise trustees. The board of trustees are made up of member contributors. So on a periodic basis, we send out notifications to employers to nominate members within the organizations who can serve on the board as trustees. So when we get these nominations, we go through the vetting process and all we do the due diligence, all the process that we need to do. Then we go through a voting process. Then you members will vote for who should sit on the board, regardless of wherever company the person is coming from. So these members are the ones who are the board of trustees, and they've been licensed, gone through training and licensed by the NPRA to operate as such. Within the board of trustees, we have the investment committee and the audit and compliance committee. These committees are within just to ensure that there are proper checks and balances when it comes to investments, and we are in compliance with what the law mandates us to do. Aside that, we have scheme administrator. In this case, ETL, that is Enterprise Trustees Limited, serve as the scheme administrator. We keep records of your statements, your investments coming in and all that. And we have the pension fund manager. The pension fund managers formulate the investment strategies. So basically, pension fund managers are fund managers. Within the country, we have fund managers. But before you can become a pension fund manager, that entity should have met some requirements. Aside meeting the requirements of their regulator, that is the Securities and Exchange Commission, you should meet some other parameters to be able to be qualified as a pension fund manager. So those people or those entities also come into the picture to help us with the formulation of the investment strategies and all that. And we have the pension fund custodian. The custodian is a bank, but not all banks in Ghana are custodians. So they also help with the safekeeping of the assets. So you realize that at the end of every month, your payment doesn't come directly to enterprise trustees. The finance manager or the HR or the payroll officer will not walk into enterprise trustees office or take our account and deposit funds into it. We have the fund custodian, the banks who keep safe of these assets that we have. And like I said, for the fund managers, we have a lot of banks in Ghana, BOG license. But aside that, you also have to meet some parameters to be qualified as pension fund custodian, and you'll be licensed by the regulator to do so. And we have the auditors who keep auditing our finances every year. So basically, this is the structure that we have. So it will give you the sense that your pensions are highly regulated. One of the most highly regulated space in Ghana is the pensions schemes. So all these structures are put in place so that we keep your assets, your funds, and the time of retirement, you go home smiling. Where are your funds also invested? So having known all the structures in place, we also want to let you know where these funds are invested. So we invest your funds in accordance with NPRA's investment guidelines, which gives us the maximum percentage limits and also the permissible investment options that we have. So we've given you the table to let you know, have some fair idea where these funds are invested. I usually tell a story when I have engagements like this, that in one of our sessions, some few years back, we met with this group. The women were very hyped because that time tilapia business was very much on top in Ghana, it was booming. So they were like, we should invest in tilapia, get the women to do that, and we're going to get a lot of returns. Unfortunately, we cannot do that. We cannot do tilapia business. We cannot do men's gold. We cannot do just any investments. We have these permissible investment options that we're able to do. So one is the government securities. We have the local government bonds. We have the money markets, the collective investment schemes, the corporate bonds, the equities, and alternative investments. So aside these 7 investments areas or options, we cannot invest anywhere. And with these investment areas, we've been given the maximum permissible allocation for each of the areas. So what the guidelines seeks to say is that for government securities, you can do a maximum of 75% of your AUM or your assets under management in there. You can't do anything below 30%. The rest have maximum ceilings, but no minimum ceiling. So with the local governments, we can do maximum of 25. Money markets can do maximum 35, and so on and so forth. So these are the areas where we invest your funds. Across all corporate trustees that you have in Ghana, these are the areas where we do the investments. So having known how the structure is, where your funds are invested, now you've been taking the funds since you joined your employment, you've been taking your funds, and you might be asking yourself, how do I assess it? How do I monitor? How do I know if my funds are being paid and all that? So when you come to enterprise trustees, we've given several options for members to assess their funds any point in time, wherever they are. We have actually empowered our members so that they won't be over-reliant on us. And when our offices are closed and you cannot reach us, you will be frustrated. No, it is not like that with enterprise trustees. So we have what we call the Enterprise Advantage app. Now, with the Enterprise Advantage app, you can check all your enterprise products across our subsidiaries on that app. So if you have a life policy with Enterprise Life, if your cars are insured or your motor is insured with enterprise insurance, if you have any properties and related to our enterprise properties, having managed your properties for you and all that, you can have access. And for sure, with your pensions, you can have access, one-stop shop that you can check on all these accounts on the Advantage app, including transitions. If you have a funeral policy with transitions, you can also check your account on this app. So you can use any of whether iOS or Play Store, you can go there and download the Enterprise Advantage app, go through the sign-up process, just register, and all your accounts linked to that mobile number that you have will be displayed there for you to check on it. So when you come to trustees, you'll be able to view your mini statement and account balance on the app. You can use that medium to go to a self-service portal to check your full statements. And also you can update your beneficiaries. That is when you pass through that to the self-service, you can update your beneficiaries, look at the trends, the benefit projections and all that. So it's a one-stop shop for you if you are with the enterprise family. Again, we have the USSD code. We understand that sometimes internet might be a challenge. You might be at places where you cannot have access to internet, but you really want to check your account. You really want to know what is going on. We have the USSD code, that's the *714*333# that you'll be able to use to check a summary of your account and your personal information. You can also set up a auto debit when you have the enterprise personal pensions. It is something very interesting that I'll tell you about in the few slides that we'll be going to. So we have the Advantage app, you have the USSD that you can check from. And let me be quick to add that we send out the statement on periodic basis to your mails, but we don't want you to wait till that period, maybe a quarter or half year or end of year before you receive it. Every day, every time you want to check, you'll be able to access your account. Now, assessing your pensions funds. How can I assess this? In my initial presentation or submission, I mentioned that in Ghana, you can only assess your benefits when you're 60 years because that's the magic age when it comes to pensions. So aside the mandatory retirement age of 60, you can go on a voluntary retirement at age 55. And with that, we will pay your funds to you. I must be quick to add, before I move on to the other points, I must be quick to add that when it comes to the tier one, when you proceed on retirement, you'll be paid on a monthly basis. So SNET will have some computation that they'll put some parameters of yours, the number of years you've worked, the best 3 years of your working life, all those parameters they'll put in place to define how much you're taking home every month. So we call it defined benefit scheme. So the tier one is a defined benefit scheme because the benefit is defined. The calculation is just that you put your parameters to find X, and then the X will be how much you'll be taking home. When it comes to the tier two, is a defined contribution because whatever you contribute, all your contributions, 10,000, 1 million, plus the investment returns or the interest will be given to you as a lump sum. So when you proceed on retirement, it's need to pay you month on month. Tier 2 will give you lump sum. Tier 3 will also give you a lump sum, just like the Tier 2. So when you proceed on mandatory retirement at 60, you get a lump sum from us. Voluntary retirement at age 55, you get a lump sum from us. Unfortunately, when you pass on, we pay your benefit to your surviving beneficiaries. And so what we do is that we won't wait and calculate your age or age 60 before we pay to them. Once you are no more, the people or the loved ones that you've nominated on your form, your beneficiaries, that is what we'll make reference to and we pay them. You know, pensions, the act is such that unlike the banks where they will have to go for letter of administration and all that before they'll get their funds. With pensions, whoever you nominate now or you nominate later, your last update before you pass on, God forbid, is what we'll base on to pay. So we always advise that once you have the strength and the energy, take time, just 5 minutes of your time to nominate beneficiaries on your account. And you can do that at any point in time using the platforms I gave you, or you can even walk into any of our offices. Send us an email. We'll share the link and the form with you. I'm sure in our subsequent slides, you get a QR code. You can just scan and you update your beneficiaries at any point in time. When you are incapacitated, that's medically unfit to work again, we can also based on that, we can also pay your funds to you. So there's a medical board from the regulator that will examine you to assess that you qualify for incapacity benefits, then they'll pay it to you. For our experts, if you are moving to your home country for good, we'll pay you your Tier 2 and your Tier 3. And with the Tier 3 Provident Fund, there are options for you to withdraw. Is available, but usually we don't encourage it because we know that this is towards your retirement. So we always advise people that as much as you can, try and save and have other investment options so that you can fall on. So basically, that is how you can access your pension contributions. One other thing is the porting. I will dwell more on the porting because for us new joiners, for us with the enterprise family now, it is very important that we take advantage of this. When it comes to porting, basically what we are trying to say is that it's funds transfer, okay? You won't have access to it in your bank account, but it is important that you get to know your contributions, all your contributions. You get to know how they are growing. You get to monitor them at every stage in your life. So since you have joined the enterprise family, we will share with you the porting form. I know some of you have already initiated it, but for those of us who have not, it's just a pager. You complete your details, your name, your former employer, the trustee you were with, and you just attach a copy of your Ghana card. Then you give to us. You can just drop it in our office or send it to us via email. We are high tech, so we usually deal with emails. You can come to the office if you so wish. But you can send us an email. We'll just pick on it and we'll have relationship. We do have existing relationship with the other trustees. So we just go to them and ensure that your funds, your Tier 2, Tier 3 funds seated with them will be moved to your current account so that you have an overview of what is going on. It is also important for you to port because you are now with the best. So I don't understand why you are with the best. You are getting the best of interest, the best of services. Transparency is there, and you want to leave your funds elsewhere where you won't even know how it's growing, and there might be a lot of things that you're not uncertain about. So it is important that we take advantage of the porting. It's the window is open, but it's important we do it now because usually it will take about 90 days for your funds to be moved from the other trustee to your current account. So once you initiate it now, we know that we can start counting that within the next 3 months, your funds will be received. So we'll share the funds with everyone who needs it so that we'll do that. What do I retire with? I think I mentioned this. With the Tier 2 and the Tier 3, all your contributions, whether you've worked for 10 years, 15 years, 5 years, 2 years, we don't really mind the number of years you've worked with, or all your contributions and the interest accrued will be given to you. So today, if you check your statements, the contributions you are seeing and the returns will be there. So we don't wait for you to be 60 before we calculate the returns. At every point in time, like the daily compounding, once we run the updates, you just see your returns. So if you should proceed on retirement today, what you're seeing on your statement is what you're giving you as a lump sum. So basically, that is what you retire with. And when the time is due, you complete the form, attach your valid ID, HR will sign off, and you submit it through your HR, or you send an email to info.trustees@myenterprisegroup.io, and we'll process for you within 10 working days or less. Now, our services. We have specially created some solutions for our members, and this is one of a kind. It is one of a kind because you won't get it anywhere. And the places that will try to mimic this, you won't get it as best as we'll give you. So our first solution is that we help you to build your wealth, or help you to plan your wealth building plans towards a long-term financial security, like the personal pension that we have. So I'll show you an interesting slide in about the next 2 slides, where we have something we do as a family, enterprise family. We journey to 1 million at retirement. So what it means is that you can take advantage of it. If you have a long-term goal, if you have a medium-term goal, we help you to create such a plan in a way that you can, how much you earn, how much you can put aside. We have special advisors who have all the time to come and sit with you to help you plan this. Also, the porting process, that is something we help you to do, support you to consolidate your pension fund, as I said earlier. And also, we provide you with the best post-retirement solution. We call it the purple drawdown. So as I told you, at Enterprise, as a family, we don't just leave you when you're retirement. We don't leave you like orphans. No, we don't do that. So what we do is that we have specially created this product. We know that money flies. Okay. So once we give you the lump sum, if you're not careful, within a year, within 6 months, 2 years, it's kind of a shit. And we don't want that to happen to you, because we are all praying for long life. And we know that post-retirement, you're going to live 10, 15, 20 years. And so our funds should be enough to sustain us throughout that process. And so what the post-retirement solution that the Purple Drawdown is set to do is just designed for retirees. So when you proceed on retirement, instead of taking all your 1 million home and hide it under your bed or keep it in your savings accounts where you not get any returns on, we give you a product, a very safe product where it will be invested in. Then you tell Enterprise that at the end of every month, or at the end of every quarter, at the end of every 2 weeks, based on your preference, pay me about 10,000, pay me 15,000 out of it. And trust me, the returns alone, you can feed on the returns, and your principal will still be working and be there for you. And by the time you realize, you'll be enjoying your retirements like you are in active work. So that is the product that we have for you when you proceed on retirement. Also, we have the value-added service, that's the pension-backed mortgage and the short-term loan. And we are so proud to be the first to introduce this in the pension space. And now our colleagues and our competitors are all learning from. And so we are so proud about that. If you want a short-term loan, if you want a mortgage, there's no need for you to come and dip your hands in your tier 3, your provident fund, or your personal pension that you come to withdraw to go and do that. We have a solution that we can still keep the funds, have an arrangement or agreement with the providers, and we will ensure that once you are servicing that, your funds will still be growing. They will only fall on it when you default, but I know that we are all trustworthy people, so we are not going to do that. So we have such arrangements for you members that you can take advantage of. So you can give us a call, you can just send us an email, and we'll sit down with you to give you a tailor-made solution just for you. These are the products, but it's not one jacket fits all. Let's sit with you and let's see what best works for you. Now, the good news. Let me introduce you to my 3 friends. So Kofi, Aquile, and our almost grandpa, Doctor himself. So Kofi is a very young guy. Maybe, yes, I think I can relate to Kofi better because I'm also a young adult like him. At every stage in life, what we are trying to say is that at every stage in life, you need to know what is most important and the things that you need to do as part of your journey towards retirement. So that is the advice that we give, that at every point in time, these are the things that you really need to take advantage of, or you really need to pay attention to, so that your retirement will be fun, okay, and stress-free. So as a young adult, sorry, you need to consolidate your pension fund. That is important. As I mentioned earlier, it is important. Maybe you've changed jobs like 3, 4 times. You don't have to leave the funds seated everywhere, anywhere, just like that. Move all of them to enterprise, and we'll take good care of the funds for you. And now you have to look at the areas of investments. Where are you investing your funds? Today, the pension structure gives us the opportunity to invest in several areas. So you know that you're enjoying from that. But aside the pension fund, I'll show you some fact about, or some tidbits about the pensions. You realize that the tier 1 and the tier 2 might not be enough for you when you proceed on retirement. So at this stage, we tell you to take advantage of personal pensions. The personal pensions will offer you some extra comfort. And this is the time that you need to start. You also need to set aside some emergency fund, like I said earlier, so that you don't come and dip your hands in your tier 3 or your personal pensions at the slightest opportunity. So if you're within Kofi's age, consolidating your funds, very, very important. The second one is taking advantage of the personal pensions and also having an emergency fund. And you also can take advantage of the pension-backed loan and mortgage facility that we have. At this stage in your life, you have quite some number of years before retirement. So this is the time that you can decide to sit down with an advisor and see how best you can take advantage of the pension-backed mortgage and the loan facilities. Between the ages of 40 and 49, when you are middle age, like my sister, my Aquile, it's also important that you consolidate your fund. That one is, there are no two ways about it. It's something that you must do, so that when you get to docs stage, you don't have to be roaming, going up and down, looking for where your former employers were putting the tier 2 and the tier 3. No. So this is the time for you to do that, and also have the personal pensions and the emergency fund. Also, at this stage, you'll be looking at trying your best to pay off all your mortgages and loans. So this is the stage between 40 and 49. If you have any loan, you have any mortgages, you want to pay them off, so that in the next 10 or 11 years to retirement, you can focus on accruing or building your wealth solely for retirement. So that is Aquile for you. About Doc is retirement bound. At this stage, he has 10 or less years to retirement. And so every plan or every action that you take is supposed to be towards your retirement. Maybe you didn't put in the plans earlier, and so you'll be lacking at this time. It's not too late. You can start today and pay off all your mortgages and loan at this time. But we recommend that at this stage, try your best that you don't have any outstanding mortgage to clear. And now the purple drawdown will come in for you. That is when you start to sit with advisors. And if you want a 20K, 50K, 30K at the end of every month as your post-retirement package through the purple drawdown plan, you sit down and you know that I need to invest this within the next 9, 10 years before I can enjoy this as retirement. So at every stage in your life, we have a tailor-made solution for you. And at every stage in your life, you need to pay attention to all these things to ensure that you are able to enjoy your retirement. So as part of the product that we have for you that I spoke about earlier, the personal pensions, as you can see there, I'm so proud of this little girl because she started very early. And it's never late for you to start. And you are never too young to start. Retirement is not for those at 60 years, those at 50 years. Retirement is for us, because what you invest today, how you plan today, is what will determine how you are going to enjoy your retirement. So at this stage, you want to buy your primary home through your personal saving plans, your children's school fees, holiday planning, and all that. You need to take advantage of all those. And the mortgage, as we spoke about earlier, as well as the purple drawdown. The potential of additional 1 million. So as I mentioned earlier, as you are with us, because we are now family members, let me introduce you to a tradition we do as a family. We want all of us to get to a 60 with 1 million and over in our bank accounts, or in our personal pensions. Let me put it that way, in our personal pensions. Maybe you move it to your bank account so that you enjoy small, and your personal pensions. So you look at the ages, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Wherever you fit determines how much you're going to put down at the end of every month. So you realize that the younger you are, the minimum your contributions every month will be. That is why I'm saying that you are never too young to start. You don't have to wait till 40 years. You don't have to wait till 45, because when you're 45, it means you're going to save over 1,600 cedis at the end of every month, which is something difficult to do. But if you are 40 years, if you are less than that, you are doing 700 and below, which is something you can manage. So let's take advantage of it. If you are over 45, don't worry, it's not too late. Maybe you cannot do the 1 million, but get in touch with us. Our advisors will sit down with you, look at the strength, your inflows, and we'll arrange something that you can also take advantage of and have a comfortable retirement. What we are saying is that start today, start journeying towards 1 million, and you can just dial *714*333#. Select option 1 to sign up, and let's do this journey together. It's a challenge I'm throwing to all of us. So please, let's take advantage of that. So we want to keep you always informed. I'll leave this slide on for about 30 seconds or a minute. Kindly take your phones and let's scan the QR code, and you have access to our member KYC form. So we want to know you, and not just know you, but also provide you with all the relevant information that you need, so that you'll be able to receive updates from us, because we send updates on a monthly basis via SMS on your payment. Once it's made, you can have easy access to the USSD. If you have your details, you have quarterly newsletters. We tell you what is going on in our space, in the pension space. We have the advantage report, which gives you the breakdown of our returns and all that, the annual fact sheet. After audit will do their work, we send you the information on that as well, to be able to also update your beneficiaries through that. And also you have an enhanced experience with us. I'm sure many of us might have scanned it by now. All right, so I'll move on. If you have any difficulty, I'm sure we can pick it up during the Q&A session. You can also connect with us on our socials. So we have at Enterprise Trustees on all the platforms: Facebook, IG, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube. Please follow us. Let's get interactive. We have a lot of content for you, a lot of things that you need to know, just not on savings, but how to keep yourself, your health is your wealth. So we talk about health, we talk about mental well-being, a whole lot of things. I'm sure you want to keep yourself updated. You can also connect with us on all the other platforms. Visit our offices, locations at High Street, Rage Airport, Tema. If you're in Kumasi, Takrade, or Tamale, we are there as well. You can visit our office and interact with us. You can also reach us on WhatsApp. That's BAPS 055 400 1924, or call our contact center if you have any issue. Digital addresses of our physical locations also here for our information. Thank you very much. You've been a good and great, let me say, audience. At this point, we will take some questions. I'm sure we are having some questions in the comments session. So my team is here. We will go through the questions and do our best to answer them. Thank you very much. All right, so I realized that most of your questions were coming in, and the team has picked it up to address most of them. Please, if you still have some questions, we have just about 10 minutes. You can drop them in the chat. Please include your phone number and your email address so that we can reach out to you after the session and give you more clarity or interact with you if you need any assistance. So please, we are still on the call for the next 10 minutes. kindly drop your questions in the chat. We'll pick it up and give you the relevant or the needed information. Please don't forget to include your email address and your phone number. Thank you. I think I have to leave this a special request. I have to leave the road to 1 million on. People want to see what it's about. So you can just go through it one more time and see where you fall. If you are somewhere between the 30 and 35, you know that you are paying about 200, about 200, 250. But you can also drop your contacts. Our retirement advisors will get in touch with you. If you want them to come to your office, they will be there to assist you, know how best you can take advantage of this. And let me be quick to add that we have the benefits calculator on our website. So if you go to the website, you have the benefit calculator as well. You can play around it, know how much you want to earn at the end of the year or at the end of the period based on your short-term goals, your long-term goals, your medium-term goals. You know how much you have to contribute to get there. So do get interactive with us on our socials as well as our websites, and we'll be able to assist you. All right, so another quick information. I know some of you are requesting for the recording and the info pack. We'll do well to share with you via your emails after the session. So please do expect email from us with the recording of the session as well as the slides, the information pack that we used, so that you can also refer to it as and when. Thank you. All right, so just wrapping up. It's been an interactive session. My team has been very busy responding to your questions and comments in the chat, and we are grateful for your time. Just before we leave the call, kindly take a minute. Please pick up your phone, go to the socials as projected, and please follow us. We have a 21-day challenge coming on in May. And if you are with us on IG, Facebook, I'm sure you're going to see a lot on those platforms. So please follow us at Enterprise Trustees, Instagram Enterprise Trustees, Facebook Enterprise Trustees, LinkedIn, TikTok, same Enterprise Trustees, YouTube Enterprise Trustees, for these engagements. At this point, I would want to hand over to our moderator, Doreen, so that she closes us. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Anna. And thank you for joining this session. We are so grateful. If you have other colleagues in your organization who, due to one or two reasons, were not able to join us today, meanwhile, there are also new members joining the Enterprise Trustee Scheme, we would kindly ask that when we share the recordings with you, you can also share with them. Or you can also send us a message so that we send the recordings to them as well, so that you don't miss out on all this important session, because it's very important that as we work, we make sure that in the future, what we have taught for, we are able to enjoy it. So please let your colleagues know, and then we are always available to assist you. Once again, thank you very much. We are open 24/7 via digital channels. If you want to get in touch with us, please do so. We would also end this session with a prayer, and we are so grateful to God for this session, for granting us good health. Let us pray. Everlasting Father, we are grateful unto you for this session. We pray that as we have gathered and as we have sought knowledge on what to do concerning our practice, and continue to guide us and protect us. In Jesus' mighty name, we pray with thanksgiving. Amen. Again, we want to add that periodically we hold our webinar sessions, which we term Tomorrow Today. So please, it's very important that you follow us on social media so that you know when these educative sessions are ongoing, so that you can also join us. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day.
Very nicely done.